Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. Well, Bitcoin and Cardano, because we will be looking at some of the announcements from yesterday at the Bitcoin conference and how Bitcoin DeFi can happen on Cardano and how that is going to happen. So we'll look at some of the stuff that has been put out by Input Output. And just before we jump into that, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who interacted with the last video, all the comments about welcoming me back to putting out videos. I really do appreciate that because it had been a while before that since I put one out. So all that, it's great to see that support, but also it does help push the videos out. So if you're new, give the video a like, comment anything below, even Bitcoin DeFi on Cardano, something like that, and subscribe if you're new. Do appreciate it. Now let's jump into these announcements. So one of the announcements that we got was the Cardinal white paper, which is the protocol that is going to be used for wrapping Bitcoin and Ordinals on Bitcoin and allowing them to be used on Cardano. But we'll come back to that in a minute. We look at some of the videos first because I think they give a far better picture for the quick overview, and I'll leave links to all of this stuff down below too. So today at the Bitcoin conference, we demoed how we're bringing Bitcoin and Cardano together. So some videos there, you'll see some familiar faces, and some of the videos, you'll see the lending dashboard here. We'll look at that video in a minute because there was people there who recorded it. We'll probably get better videos of this, and hopefully I'll be able to get access to it in the not too distant future to be able to do tutorials and overviews of how all of this looks. But you can see Charles there talking as well. But if we jump into some of this, so Sheldon Hunt, another guy who's been on the channel here a few times, and Sheldon, we're definitely due a catch up. There's a lot been happening with Sundial and everything that's going on there with Bitcoin, but you can see he got to meet Michael Saylor and have a chat. Hopefully he's able to encourage Michael to open up his viewpoint to other assets apart from just Bitcoin, but we'll leave that for another story. Another guy who's been on the channel a few times and definitely due a catch up with all that these guys have been working on is Raul, and he recorded some of the presentations just to show what's going to be possible. I am really impressed with the UX of this and how simple this is going to be. It's something I always talk about when you're looking for new people coming in or looking cross-chain. The UX, the user interface, that all has to be so easy to use. You have to make it intuitive and make it just that they don't have to start learning about everything. And Babel fees, which FluidTokens have brought out as well, makes that even easier in that you will notice here. So the audio isn't great on these, so I won't play the audio. If we come back here, you'll see the fees that are being paid are paid in the native token, which is Bitcoin in this case. So this is the Lace wallet going into the MinSwap app, which is the biggest DEX on Cardano for anyone new. Authorize the wallet the same as you would do with any wallet when you're interacting with a dApp for the first time. Swapping Bitcoin into Min token, you can see here swapping this amount of Bitcoin into Min token. Trade now, you can see the details of it. You see the fees are being paid in Bitcoin, but this is all going to settle on Cardano, and that is down to being able to use Babel fees to pay for the transaction. So on the front end, it is Bitcoin that's used, but on the back end, on the Cardano side, there is ADA used to settle them transactions. So I know I've seen that as a worry before. People don't need to hold ADA to do transactions, but underneath it all, it still is ADA pays on the ledger level. It's just there's mechanisms around that to make it easier for the user on the top level. So swapping assets is great. This will encourage more people to be able to come in and get native assets without going through centralized exchanges. But one of the ones I'm really looking forward to is this one. And again, this is from Raul. And these videos are kind of recordings of the presentations that were happening. Once I can get access to all of this myself, I'll do walkthroughs and tutorials and everything like that, looking at it and be able to dive a little bit deeper into it. But I wanted to get these ones out for now. So Bitcoin will get native yield on Cardano DeFi, trustless, fast settlement, low fees. Teams have been cooking. Can you guess the lending platform that is Bitcoin ready? So Raul is from the FluidTokens team. So them guys have been looking at the Bitcoin side for a long time now. This one here, trustless, is the big one because there has previously been opportunities to earn yield on your Bitcoin, but you went through centralized entities like Celsius. Most people in crypto will be familiar with what happened there and how basically it was a scam. The owners were using the Bitcoin and using the assets for other things and lost a lot of the funds. But ways like this, users can get involved and they don't have to give up custody of their funds like that. So let's have a quick look at this one. So this is where you can provide tokens. So again, in this demo here, the lending dashboard, Bitcoin and Cardano are the ones being used here. So you have your supply APY. So if you supply either of these tokens, this is the APY that you could earn. Now, I'm presuming these aren't the final rates because there won't be that much liquidity there. And these APY rates always come down to supply and demand and how much demand there is for the supply, because obviously if there's more people looking for it, then they're able to charge a higher interest rate to them users, and then the people supplying earn the higher interest rate too. You can see here the APY, the utilization rate, the liquidation levels, because you have to always be over collateralized, supply amount, then the return. This is the APY that you can expect from this, and then it will just be submitted. As simple as that. All of the, I suppose, the technical stuff, that all happens behind the scenes. All of the assets moving from Bitcoin over to Cardano, that's all handled behind the scenes. So again, the UX is as simple as possible for the end user, which for me is the most important part. So again, this is looking to borrow ADA. So it will look at the possible repay. So your debt is your APY here. This is the interest that you're going to be paying on it. The health factor, because in the last one you've seen they provided Bitcoin as their collateral. And then there's the health factor and the details, transaction fees in this one being paid in ADA. And that is kind of it for that summary. So I will leave links to them videos down below. The part that we mentioned in the beginning about the white paper Cardinal, for people who want to really dive deeper into that, I did take the white paper. Anyone can get it, access to it here, lace.io/Bitcoin. Put in your email address and they send you over the white paper. So I got the white paper and I put it into ChatGPT. I'll leave a link to this thread down below. I just posted it before the video. So it goes through the core concept. So it enables Bitcoin assets to be wrapped and transferred on Cardano, allowing them to behave like native Cardano tokens, e.g. NFTs, fungible tokens. Users can burn these wrapped tokens to reclaim their Bitcoin on the original chain. This is done without relying on centralized custody or traditional federated bridging. That is the important part here. It talks a bit about the security model, how it relies on a 1 out of n honest operators. The key technology, so BitVMX is the big one that is being used here. Mithril is also coming in, and when you look at the future side of this, you can see full trustlessness goal by integrating SNARK-based proofs and advanced zero knowledge techniques. There's also Bitcoin OS, which is completely separate to this, that are looking at ZK proofs and how they're going to use it. I don't think they have fully implemented it yet. It's one I need to catch up on. I've heard different opinions on it, but I'm waiting to see what the team actually produces on that. So again, that's another route that will be available to users. So there will be lots of different options. And again, which ones get used the most will all come down to security and how easy they make it to use on the front end. So I will leave a link to this down below for anyone who just wants the overview. And as well, there is the link here if you want to get that white paper. Fairgate, which is the other party involved with this, have also put out it's a fairly small blog post on it here. You can see here how it all works. The Ordinal, which is, I suppose, kind of like a native asset over on Bitcoin. Ordinal, lockup, the lockup TX, lockup proof, which can be read on the Cardano side, BitVM proof verification on the Bitcoin side, and then this is when it's being returned back to the owner, or what you can do on the Cardano side. Trying to keep this video fairly short, but in another one, maybe I'll dive a bit deeper into all of this, or get someone else on who really understands this a lot more in depth than me, because I'm still doing my research on it. I understand the high level of it all, but the deeper inner workings of it, guys like Sheldon, guys like Raul will be able to dive a lot deeper into things like that, and maybe even Charles if we can get him on at some point. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Give the video a like, comment, Cardano Bitcoin or Bitcoin DeFi on Cardano or something like that. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.